So we watch around us. We see things that a lot of people feel very unhappy about. But we also realize gradually that our own fumbling is becoming unendurable. We are in trouble every minute. We are in trouble because we have gradually complicated our mistakes. When we were a small group of people living on a large planet, our mistakes sort of faded away. Everyone took his mistakes to the grave with him. Now, however, these mistakes are being circulated through one nation after another. All of a sudden, we are one vast family. We are in one humanity in conflict and stress with parts of our own family. Everywhere, the struggle for survival has been multiplied in its intensities, and the survival idea has been lost. We are all struggling not for survival, but for domination over others. So this keeps on going, and all of a sudden it looks pretty bad. We can see now what we couldn't have seen 25 years ago. And actually, this is growth. We are now bewildered. We are intimidated. We are at loss. We do not know what to do next. We do not know where to turn for instruction. But we are therefore in the condition of the prodigal son, who has wasted his substance in riotous living and has now repented and is trying to find his way back to his father's house. And this is what we're all doing, whether we realize it or not. We're all trying to find a way to correct the mistakes that exist. And the mistakes exist are scientifically controllable. If science would gradually try to find out exactly how the great sovereign energy works, why it works, and what universal life is attempting to do, if science would give this more thought and could find out just even a little more about what the purpose of things is, and get over the idea that man has been hopelessly isolated and must find out everything for himself and must build a world according to his own desires in a universe ruled by immutable law which can never be broken. Anything that attempts to break a law is broken by it. If science, knowing its exactitudes and being able now to make ships that will go to the moon, headed for Mars almost immediately, if someone can bring this point home, that the one great answer that we must find is why we are here, what we are here for, and how we can work together to fulfill a purpose that we can never dominate, but we can venerate, recognize, and cooperate with. We can always realize there are not many ways of doing it right. We never have the freedom of choice that we think we have. For each individual, finally, there is only one possibility of choice, and that is to choose what is inevitable. This understanding can also begin to work in our lives. We can get over a lot of the pressures of family, a lot of the inconsistencies and inharmonies of daily existence, if we try to the best of our ability to live according to the life within us. And this life says, this is only one, and all others have it. When we speak of another, we are speaking of another self. We are speaking of ourselves. I remember the little story from Japan when I was there, talked to a Japanese, and we saw two men bowing frantically to each other in the lobby. And the friend, Miss Me, says, you know, this man, that man over there is bowing, is a nice fellow. And this other man he's bowing to is a rogue. Why should a good man bow to a rogue? Well, my friend said there were two reasons. First, this man is a rogue, but behind that rogue is God, regardless of what he does. Because if God wasn't there, he'd drop dead in his tracks. Therefore, there is a divinity in him, and this is respected even if his conduct is not. And he says there's a second reason also. bowing is good for the stomach. So the least you get out of it is a little help. And with a little help like that, we can go a great way. And by gradually trying at least to bow to the truth as we confront it, and making every effort to overcome every dividing factor in our lives, and trying according to the best of our ability to recognize that with us always is a power that we should respect and venerate, that this unseen guest is the source of ourselves, and we may not see it for a long time, but we know its presence, and the more we know about it, the more we respect it. And out of respect comes love, and out of love comes obedience. So if we all work it out the best we can, the universal transmutation will take place. Well, that's it, folks.